I would like to ask you to pay attention to whatever they are going to say here. I'm quite sure it is going to benefit all of us. Thank you very much for answering our invitation. My colleague, Dr. Mazu, I know here we have some of his students that are here. And also another partner, what we were teaching you about network, I think this is my network. ENGAUSA. And again, we are very closely. He's not only a friend, but also a brother. Yesterday, I think the Vice Chancellor was saying that he was my classmate. Okay, but this one, we were almost close, not more than 50 meters away. So we are worked together. Even though his junior brother is now my friend, because he's now my senior friend. Engineer he's Dr. Kabiru, I know you know me. So the session is a panel session that we have titled Bridging the Divide, Forging Nigeria's Future-Ready Workforce, because we are dealing with employability. Permit me to stand on the existing protocol, established protocol, but much to say that today we are tackling one of the most critical paradoxes of our time. On one side, we have thousands of young Nigerian graduates full of energy and ambition entering the job market every year. On the other side, we have industries crying out for talent, struggling to fill critical roles and lamenting a skill gap. Why does this gap exist? The simple answer is a disconnect. The complex answer is what we are here to unpack. The relationship between our institutions of learning and our industries have often been a one-way street, or worse, or a closed road. Why does this matter? It does because graduate employability is not just about getting a job, it is about economic survival and prosperity. For a nation with one of the youngest population in the world, like Nigeria, this is not just an educational issue, it is a national security and economic development issue. We fail to harness this demographic dividend, we reach a demographic disaster. And on recent times, we all are witness that this is already happening. Our employed youth represent a loss of potential GDP, innovation, and social stability. Now, but what are the opportunities out there? I will say that despite the challenges, the opportunities in Nigeria are immense. We stand at a unique intersection of needs and possibilities. A blooming tech ecosystem, for example, Lagos, Abuja, and other hubs, are proving that Nigerian innovation is a world class. We've all seen Flutter waves and quite a number of unicorns that are emerging in Nigeria. This is a real surprise to the global community that yes, there are opportunities in Nigeria. This creates a blueprint for skill development that is agile and market-driven. The entrepreneurial imperative, with few traditional jobs available, the mindset is shifting from job seeking to job creation. And our entrepreneurs are becoming the new engine of employment. A young adaptable population, our graduates are digital natives. They are eager to learn, unlearn, and relearn. The raw material is there. We just need to refine it in the right furnace. To navigate this complex landscape, I'm thrilled to be joined with three distinguished voices who represent every piece of the puzzle. And let's bridge the divide. And to my far right, may I wish to introduce Dr. Mazu, Dr. Mazi is a business expert and has worked for quite a number of international organizations in terms of developing businesses, value chain, and quite a number of things. And so himself, we normally call him a serial entrepreneur. And so he is a couple of the academia and the industry embodied in one body. Please a round of applause for Dr. Mazi. At the middle stand one personality that defy all rules of deniance or saying that it is not possible, but he said it is possible. And today we see the possibility emerging. We call him ENGAUSA, not because he is ENGAUSA himself, but because we believe that when local talent meets international global practice, a new body of innovation emerge. And here we have engineer Mustafa Habu, an engineer by profession, but is the co-founder, is the CEO and founder of the ENGAUSA Tech Hub in Kano, where he has trained quite a number of youth in issues relating to solar, quite a number of things, including AI and robotics. Indigenous to Nigeria, indigenous to northern Nigeria, and perhaps he has won a number of accolades, including from Nigerian NIDA, the Kano state government, Jigawa state government, quite a number of honor, including those of the media have recognized his contribution to youth employment, to creating employment for youth, and we are happy that he is joining today. A round of applause please for him. To my immediate left is somebody that was earlier introduced by the director himself, but he's a comrade in nature. He started as a comrade, and today is a household name to reckon with when it comes to retail businesses in Kano and beyond. I'm sure we all are familiar with Sufi Mart. So Dr. Kabir Sufi is an entrepreneur to reckon with on that. Now, turning to my good friend, Engineer Abu, usually the tech hub are seen as the middle ground between industry and academia, a transition pathway. So my question will be, from your standpoint, do you see university system as a completely irrelevant, or are there fundamental skills that graduates have to just need to translate to their new workspace, for example, either tech space or business space, or whatever space? What could be the connection? Thank you very much.
Graduate may not be irrelevant if he discovers himself. That is self-discovery.
Self-discovery.
And self-awareness. You have to be self-aware. What is happening in the university is a summary of what is happening outside the university. But mark my word, just a summary. You will see the emerging needs for services in Cook Village, right? There are needs for photocopy, typing, printing, and other digital services, restaurants, and a lot of services like shoe shining and other services needed by individuals. So that is a summary of what is happening in the real world. If you can discover yourself within your department, and you discover what kind of services, what kind of a real problem can you solve after graduating from the university. It doesn't matter what your career or what department you belong to. You can be a digitally literate person who can give digital services, or there is difference between digital literacy and digital skills. Digital literacy will refine your academic success or define your academic activities while still in the university. But the digital skills, what we need in the market is not just to operate smartphone or to know how to type on MS Word and other Microsoft Office services. It's not only about that, but solving a real problem out there. So, for example, as I'm also a university graduate, and I am very proud to be a graduate from Bayero University, an alumni of Bayero University. And of course, I was not irrelevant the time I graduated. Yes, companies were very happy to employ me. My first employer was Zynet Computers in Lagos, immediately after graduation from Bayero University. How? Because where I was still a student in Bayero University, I engaged in extracurricular activities. You know, not even the services, giving the services, but learning how to become relevant in the market. For example, the time I got an opportunity to stay in CIT, BUK CIT, as a South student, I tried to blend with the staff of the CIT. You couldn't even differentiate myself and the staff of CIT. Most of those visiting CIT, they thought I was a staff of CIT. I was engaged in practical activities like networking, troubleshooting, going to the site, going to new sites, BUK on site, even I've been Politician Hospital. It's part of Bayero University's network. I was always there in the site, and also whenever we don't have any activities outside, I stay with my mentor in CIT, Mara Awal Tata. Some of you might know him. Yes, I already had a mentor for what I was trying to build as my career. You understand? So you should discover yourself. The first discovery of yourself is, am I ready to be a public servant or a businessman? Do I want to be self-employed or employed by another company? That's how you can discover who you are and how ready are you to be self-reliant, or how ready are you to provide solutions to existing problems in your locality. Because, can I ask a question? Though in panel discussion usually we don't ask questions to the audience, but I can ask a question if I am granted the permission. Okay. I want to ask a question, and the question has a prize to whoever answered that very question. The question is, as a graduating student, what specific problem can you solve in your locality? And it has come with evidence, not just rhetoric.
So I talk about value addition, but value addition, so it's just the same thing.
Are you a graduating student? Okay, you can answer the question. Eh? Okay. Yeah, I'm sorry for taking your time, but what he's trying to show us is very important, and it's part of what we are discussing. At least you should go ahead. I'm waiting for you as I'm discussing. Okay. So at least you should learn, or you should learn a specific skill, a particular skill. You understand? Yes, because you need to know a little about everything. And you should know everything about one thing. You understand? You should know little about everything and everything about one thing. That is, you specialize on solving a particular problem. So, are you ready? So, what he's trying to do is to show us a tangible evidence, right? So, it's part of marketing yourself. Whenever you claim you can solve a problem, what I will ask is, give me a tangible evidence. A tangible evidence is part of what he's trying to show us. Even if your smartphone, can we see your digital presence? What is digital presence?
LinkedIn.
In your social media platform, are you just discussing Concosia and Gujia? Or you are discussing the skills you are good at? Oh, wow. MashaAllah. So this is three-phase changeover system cycle. But this is still a theory. Where is the practical? This is a theory. Where is the practical solution? Do you understand what I mean by theory? Even an AI can generate this right now within few seconds. Yes, but where is the solution? Where is the product? If currently I want to buy the product, can I get it from you within 1 hour? Immediately after this program?
Is there a prototype?
Do you have a prototype of that? Where is the prototype? Show me the picture of the prototype. But in summary, this is what a student should consider as being marketable or employable person after graduation. Don't wait until after graduation, but after study. I personally exempted from NYC because 2 companies were ready to employ me. Do you understand? So I exempted from NYC, but I was employed by Zynox. Immediately after employed by Zynox, a Chinese company was ready to employ me too. A Chinese company called ZTE Telecommunications. They took me to China. I learned a lot of things from them. I worked for them for 5 years and resigned to become self-reliant because right from the beginning, I was not ready to remain an employee of a company. I wanted to be a provider of employment. You understand? So that's why after spending 5 years with the Chinese company, I resigned because I discovered a lot of things, a lot of problems to solve in my locality. So I moved my business from Abuja to Kano so that I could provide jobs for people. And within 6 years now, I provide jobs for more than 9,000 people.
And I think that is what, if I become a university chancellor, I will first do, is I will make sure that by the time you graduate from my university, you are very confident about yourself. That confidence is important. But you can't be confident when you are not worth it. You have to be worth it. Sometimes you might not really know what you are worth until you are challenged. Let me just a minute give this story. Sometime 2 years ago, one of the state governments in the northern part of the country sent, an official to consult us to open 2 branches of Sufi and Sufi in his state. Now, when he came, we sat down, we talked, and I took him round some of those branches of Sufi. And in the course of our discussion, because one of the people that they sent is the manager of the state-owned microfinance bank. So he was telling us that even if you need loan, that the microfinance bank will give us loan. I said, fine, okay. We are just discussing. I said, well, this thing is a family thing. Let's talk about it. So casually, he asked about the volume of sales in Sufi. And when he was told the volume of daily sales in Sufi, he said, wallahi, that is the minimum share capital of a microfinance bank. He said, from begging Sufi to open a branch in his state, he started begging them to open a microfinance bank. You understand? The confidence was there, but we didn't exhibit it. Because we didn't even know that we are worth that value. So sometimes you have to create that value in yourself and then have the confidence. If by the time he came, we told him that loan, daga ina, microfinance bank, let's say, sai da wa'annan kagan su, arrogance zai kashe su. Ko? But we were ready to do it. Okay, ba komai. Amma dai yanzu mu je ka gani, kaza kaza. And casually, he said, wallahi, that daily turnover is the minimum share capital of the microfinance bank. It's a wallahi, yace dan Allah dan annabi ku buɗe microfinance bank.
The question tallies with the motto of our company. And this is what we have been doing. And it is the fundamental of the inclusivity we are always building in the society. Because for a technical skill platform to be inclusive, it takes a lot of energy. You see, even the academic environment, for it to be inclusive, you have to spend a lot of resources. So not to talk of buying, state-of-the-art equipment, top-notch computers and systems, other systems and solutions. For people living with disabilities to be included, for women or excluded women to be included, for almajris, out of school children, and school dropouts to be included. And that was the task I promised to be my life project since 10 years ago. And alhamdulillah, it has been beautiful. Though I was challenged from all angles. Yes, from top, bottom, left, right, and center. I have been challenged in this town that what I was trying to build as a technical training platform to be inclusive as a language inclusive technical skill platform, I was discouraged even from my alma mater. The time I was presented with the certificate, one of the professors, I will not mention his name, some years ago, like 8 years, he challenged me that, Mustafa, what you are trying to do, I've been listening to your programs about ENGAUSA, teaching everything technical in Hausa and English in a blended, learning environment. He told me it's impossible. In public, he said it in public, so if you can remember. He said it's impossible because the federal government will not allow you to teach Boko in mother tongue. I said, okay, sir, give me the microphone. Then I responded to him. I challenged him, sir, could you tell me any developed country that is riding on foreign language? He kept quiet, with all due respect. So I depended myself, fully on that ground. Again, people had to snatch the microphone from my hand because I was challenging a professor on something futuristic. And now after 10 years, that professor is sending a message to me that, Mustafa, we are proud of you. Yes, that is what innovation is all about. Look at something that seems to be impossible, but from inside it will be a solution to locality's problem or to local reality's problem. Then you leave it. It will become part of you. You become part of that solution. You see what is in my pocket, right? Yes. That is ENGAUSA. It is right at the center of my heart. You understand? Because I know with a simple translation of what I know in technology, I saved a lot of lives. With a simple translation of English to Hausa, and Al-Majri is now an owner of a company, a technical driving company, not just anyhow company, please. And Al-Majri, and he's now a university undergraduate student. And Al-Majri, not only he was just an example, like a model. We had a model of Al-Majris we started with 8 years ago. I started with 20 Al-Majris. Most of them, more than 80% of them now are self-reliant. Some of them are even employers of labor. So, since the time we had that breakthrough, then we realized, breaking the barrier in Tanzania is more difficult than including the ladies. Then we challenged ourselves. And in fact, initially I was challenged by my mentor, a lady from Bayero University, Engineer Dr. Binta Usman. She visited our hub and she saw only one lady in a solar training class. Then she challenged me. Mustafa, you say you are breaking barriers and bridging gaps. Now we have a very wide gap of gender inclusion. How can you break this? I challenge you to break this within this year. I say I took this challenge, man. And before the year ended, I created a class. Before, everything was in hardware, renewable energy, electrical services, based skills. Then I thought of any other skill that ladies could explore when they are still in the comfort of their home to become service providers like graphic design, digital marketing, video editing, web design, and that was what happened. We created a class for all to train on these digital services. And alhamdulillah, we now graduated a lady living in her father's home and is a staff of a magazine company in Abuja. And now, we even graduated a lady who was a lecturer, but she had to resign because now she has become an employer of labor. I'm sorry, that was her decision because she couldn't cope with lecturing while her services are still needed always in manifold every other day. So now she's the owner of Sulnaj Perfumes. Yes, I know ladies, you should know Sulnaj Perfumes on social media. You can browse with Sulnaj Perfumes. So ladies should not relent in learning whatever technical skills are trained, even in solar installation. You could imagine. We have ladies now trained on solar, CCTV, and electrical service installations. Because it's only in Nigeria we see ladies are shy of attaching themselves to anything that you should climb a ladder. Is it haram in Islam for a lady to climb a ladder? Is it haram in Islam for a lady to become a mechanic? Is it haram for a lady to install solar? No. So let us, come to our senses. Ladies could, grab all those opportunities to become technical service providers. People with disabilities are also there because in ENGAUSA we call them people with special abilities. People with disabilities are called people with special abilities in ENGAUSA because we have seen it over years. Whoever is challenged by the Almighty Allah with a disability, you will see him performing better than those who are not challenged with those problems. For example, those who are confined on wheelchairs, they are potential programmers. Because a programmer needs to spend a lot of time sitting on his chair or lying on his bed, programming, critical thinking and a lot of things to produce a software. When a person who is confined on his wheelchair is in a better position to become a programmer. Even phone repairs. We have a lady who is repairing phones now. She even used to turn down sadaka from people along the street. When she is riding her bicycle on the street, people used to give her sadaka. She turned it down. But I am not al-Madra. I am not a beggar. That is how she used to proudly say, I am not a beggar. Yes, Halima is now a self-reliant person. So ladies are not exempted in whatever technical skill. Now, look at how you can equip yourself even online. And that is how we created another platform to make the solution more inclusive. Now we have ENGAUSA Academy, where you can learn the technical skills, or some, not all, of the technical skills we teach practically. You can browse ENGAUSA Academy. You can learn graphic design, you can learn video editing, computer networking, 3D modeling, and what have you. And currently we are going to include solar and a lot of other things that you could learn online. And that reminds me from what Dr. Sufi was saying. During the COVID-19, it was how ENGAUSA started becoming more famous. Yes, the business started thriving fully because of lockout. We were locked out. So I couldn't access my staff and they couldn't access me. So there was a time I called one of my friends in America. I asked him, please, how do you thrive in this condition? He told me, you do this, you do that. You go to Zoom, you download a Zoom application, you send it to this and that. I started calling myself that let us communicate on Zoom. That's how we started online training. And that was the essence of teaching another American company on how to use Zoom application. It was myself who I learned from my friend, right? So another American company of electrical fencing installation was looking at how to support us remotely. So I told him, didn't you know anything about Zoom? He said, no, I didn't know about it. So okay, now I will teach you. Then I had the job of teaching an American how to use Zoom platform. So that is how we started. Then we started discovering our potentialities. Oh, we could even teach an American a technical skill. And so, okay, now let us open an online training environment. That's how we started training the trainers. We trained ourselves, then we started enrolling people outside there to be trained online. And currently, you can browse ENGAUSA Global Tech. That is the general website, and ENGAUSA Academy. It is a website, and soon we are going to make it an application so that the ladies and whoever is excluded from coming out there to a physical hub can join remote training so that they become self-reliant. Thank you.
Thank you. There is no any other question to end this panel session, other than to make a prayer and a call to all the panelists. What is the one thing that you will advise a vice chancellor
For a CEO
of a CEO, if you are a CEO and then you are talking to this graduate, what is one thing that you will advise a vice chancellor to do?
Okay. If I were a vice chancellor,
improve the employability of students,
right? Because I'm not in academia. So if I were a vice chancellor, the first thing I will establish is a relationship between the university, that is to strengthen the relationship between Baylor University and its graduates, the alumni, right? That's the plural. To strengthen a relationship and not only to come to our support, to come to our aid, no. For us to know their status in wherever they are, and to see how we could help them. Then for those who are strong enough to help us to be summoned to Baylor University, they should come and develop the university and bridge all the gaps you have and break the barriers, blessing the development of the university. Thank you.
Oh, wow. Well, if I happen to be the vice chancellor, I will be one. I think I would prefer you to take the role of the CEO. Okay. Now pleading for the CEO, what will he do for Baylor University? Well, as a CEO, I'm a potential vice chancellor. I'm one already. My company is called Broad Scope Consulting. You can search for it online also. It's still present. So we do little consultancy and then capacity building and training company staff and writing business plan for SMEs. Well, the first thing is research commercialization. Because one of the major outcomes in the university, every student that graduates provides or conduct a research. So how do we begin to tailor this research to solve the real life problems so that they could become products that could be patented, they could become products that could be copyrighted, and then they could become products that could be branded. So that such companies and such products will be a spin-off, that the university will now be producing companies instead of producing only graduates, and then those graduates will be producing companies that will take the life of every graduate and be creating jobs instead of looking for jobs. So I will emphasize on this research commercialization. If you are engineering, what can you do?
Without
like
content.
Where is this guy? Solution. This three-phase, you call it, right? And then we look at how could you take it up and make it a product, a real solution that could be patented. So research commercialization, which boils down to every student must produce a project before you graduate. It means
All those projects will be aligned with industry, and then you develop a solution that will be a product or a service that can be commercialized. And that will be my emphasis. And until then, every student that graduates will become a potential CEO. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I think that's a very good one. When I had a course here in Center for Gender Studies, the course was organized by International Institute of Islamic Thought, IIIT. The day we finished the course, somebody invited me to IIIBF, International Institute of Islamic Banking and Finance. So I went and I enrolled for a professional course in Islamic Banking and Finance. The day we were finishing the course, we all made presentations about possible businesses that we could create out of Islamic Banking and Finance. Now, out of that class that I attended, we formed a company, I Think Media, IFING, I Think Media Limited. I'm the vice chairman. You can follow us on our media handles, social media handles, I Think Media Limited. I'm the vice chairman. We organized the first Arewa Islamic Finance Summit last year, and we are preparing second Arewa Islamic Finance Summit this year. It was a very successful, it just came out of our project at that professional certificate in Islamic Banking and Finance organized by IIIBF. And it gave back to that company, and that company is today a leading Islamic finance media company in Nigeria. So this is very practical, and I think I agree with you that we can commercialize research or practicalize research. We did not commercialize it, but we try to practicalize our research. And I Think Media today, I'm very proud of being the vice chairman of I Think Media. Thank you.
Thank you. I think there is no other way to end this panel session than to say that the last comment by Dr. Sufi is attempting to challenge you on your pathway, because I have heard them saying that you need to set up your goal and they will be following you up on this and this and that. The reality is that setting up those goals and what you say you want to do, they are not out of the blues. They are not for fun. They are for real. Is that clear? They are for what? Real. They are for real. And so you should make it up into your mind that whatever you are documenting, you are telling yourself the truth and nothing but the truth, and God will deliver you, inshallah. So, my panelists, thank you very much for. Thank you. Okay, good advice.
I realize that we are becoming slaves to social media platforms. It is called platform capitalism. I just learned it recently. That a lot of you are creating content that are not productive. Somebody will be dancing inside gutter and is making money. Somebody will be dancing inside charcoal and is making money. And that is a sheer capitalism, platform capitalism, it's called. It's slavery, because the algorithm is taking you to do things that are not really productive. And then you have 1 million followers, and somebody is inside one room dictating how many followers you're going to get, and he give you some coins of dollars. No, you have to be productive, because it's called platform slavery. Murja Kunya, and I can mention any names that they're doing crazy things and then they're making a lot of money. Please, never indulge in those things, because they are not productive and they are not sustainable. A time will come that everybody will be tired of this social media content if they are not productive. So whatever you're going to produce, I know a lot of you are doing social media. You have to be productive, making sense, creating new value, and then changing the path for development and success, and not to do and wasting your time to dance inside gutter. And then you get money. We call it unproductive success. It is highly unproductive success, and we discourage all of you to do that. You could do social content, you could do a lot of things, but it has to be something of value. Thank you very much.
Let me add on what Doctor has said, because this is what we call digital citizenship. A digital citizen. Who is digital citizen among us? Who is digital citizen, please? Yes, digital world is a world. You have to register as a citizen. Who is a citizen now in the digital world? All of us, right? So if you want to claim that you are a digital citizen, you must do productive activities with the digital skills on social media and whatever platform you find yourself. It should be credible, responsible, ethical, and safe activities. Safety for yourself and for your followers. That's when you become a digital citizen. Otherwise, you are not a digital citizen. And you know what we call digital presence, right? Yes, that will be digital presence. You are young enough to be present in the digital environment. Some they have what we call technophobia. They don't want to appear in the social media. It's very wrong. You should appear, but you should appear for a purpose. For a purpose of leveraging the opportunities on social media. That's why most of our people, especially from northern Nigeria, are populating the Facebook. When the professional identity is built on LinkedIn. Yeah. So if you don't have a LinkedIn page or account, please from today, go and create one. Because that is where, if I, for example, whenever I want to interview in ENGAUSA, I should first ask you to open your Facebook page or account for me to see. If you can give me that chance, then I will decide whether I will employ you or not. That's how I used to employ you these days. And there was a time, there was a lady that was hesitating. I said, yes, if you hesitate, then you can go. You can't have a chance of being interviewed in ENGAUSA. Then she reluctantly opened her Facebook page. The first thing I saw, she abused my lecturer. The second thing I saw, she abused my role model. I said, my friend, you don't have a space in ENGAUSA. Yes, the first two posts I saw was on my lecturer and on my role model, and they were all negative comments or posts. So you have to be very careful. We call it digital footprints. Whatever you are doing on social media, you are leaving traceable data that can be used to be judged on your future. It depends on readiness of the learner. You know, in the training environment, we don't call you students, but learners. How ready are you to learn? If we discover you are not ready, then we will try as much as we could to change your mindset to be ready. So if we could do that, within a week, you can learn a job. Within a one week training session, you can learn a technical skill that you can become self-reliant. But mark you, competency has levels. So within a week, you can become self-reliant. For example, you can learn graphic design or video editing. Ours is 5 weeks, but within those 5 weeks in ENGAUSA, you will learn 5 or 6 different skills. It means each skill takes you 1 week and at the rate of only 10,000 naira. Yes, that is 50 or 60,000 naira within 5 weeks. So it is the readiness that matters. You know, there is what we call C3. There is competence, confidence, and character. Then it is the character, it will define whether you become successful or not. That's why we don't only leave you with the confidence, but we try to inculcate a positive, good character in you within those 5 weeks that you are staying in ENGAUSA. Then you become job ready, or become employable, or become a producer of service in our community to become self-reliant.
Okay.
You should look for certificates, 5 or 9. That is what we are after, right? But don't forget, certificate can easily land you a job. But for you to remain in the job and even to progress career-wise, you need to have a skill, a tangible skill. Matthew, you must have a tangible skill. Even if you don't have a skill these days, after graduating from university, let me give you one strength. Do you know anything volunteer worker? job opportunity? Not freelancing, volunteer. Yes, in northern Nigeria, I stopped hearing anything about volunteer. It was when I was living in southern part of Nigeria. I could see volunteer workers. But you hardly see somebody volunteering to work in any organization. I don't know, sir, whether it's prevalent in town. Okay, but it's a secret. After graduation, just present yourself to any organization that you think your career is quite related to that. Or not only your academic career, your vocation. There is difference between your academic career and vocation. You could be a student of mass comm, but you should have a vocation in robotics or in solar installation. You should have a talent, maybe you have a natural talent in anything that has to do with electronics. Then you attach yourself to that organization voluntarily, even if they are not paying you a kobo. You understand? That is a great secret. There was a person, only one person attached to ENGAUSA last time as a graduate. He sent his CV to me. And he said he wanted to work as a volunteer in ENGAUSA. He said even if it is a cleaning job, he was ready to be a janitor in ENGAUSA. Then I grabbed him very well. I know that one is a potential CEO of ENGAUSA.
Thank you very much.
That's what we call triple helix. It is all about academia, the private sector, and the government. There should be a synergy between the three for the society or for our economy to prosper. For example, we are all operating in silos. I'm from private organization, right? And I graduated from Bayero University. And there was an emanating need for my services in the university or for collaboration with my center, ENGAUSA Global Tech Hub. How many of you heard about ENGAUSA? Okay, do you have any graduates from ENGAUSA here? How many graduates do you have from ENGAUSA? One? Okay, thank God, we have one. Yes, we are proud of you. And we are proud of you too, the graduates of Bayero University, because that was my fundamental opportunity for all what I've been doing. I'm still having my mentors within the campus, like Engineer Dr. Binta Usman and Professor Adodan Isa, all my mentors. So I'm very proud of Bayero University. But because of the problem we have, lack of the synergy between the three, there is still a barrier between what the university needs from the private organization owned by its graduates. That's a very big barrier that we are trying to break for over 3 years. Just to collaborate with a private organization owned by a Bayero University graduates with the Bayero University. Can you see the problem? So who is responsible for breaking that barrier? Who is responsible? Students, please clap for yourselves. Yes, students, yes, you are leaders of tomorrow. You can become the future minister or even the president. But I'm sure the responsibility is with the government. The government can easily break the barrier. And we have recently heard about some incentives from government, some billions of naira given to 10 universities to create or to promote technology and innovation, or creativity and innovation. These kind of incentives are what Prof is talking about. So when the incentives are available, it's not about the amount of the money, but how ready are we to make the best use of those incentives to break those barriers, stopping universities from collaborating with private organizations? And what the university have on ground that will attract the private organization, for example, R&Ds. Do you have anything to benefit from the university about research on the robots we are working on in ENGAUSA? Do you have anything like this? Do you have any innovation center from the Faculty of Engineering? Do you have any team of researchers that could add more ingredients in what we are researching on, maybe on AI or robotics or something like this three-phase automatic changeover or whatever, do we have? Is the university ready, or is it confident enough to support the private organization so that we can pay for that service? These are the challenges that we have to provide tangible services. Sorry, my friend was trying to show me an evidence of his performance or of his innovation, right? But can you remember what I asked him to show me before he can convince me that it's a solution? He showed me a circuit, a very complex circuit. I've been working on such kind of very complex circuit. Since I graduated from university, I never worked on them again. Because I didn't need it in my company. You understand? So there are some sort of simple solutions needed in the market. But in the university, we concentrate on complex solutions that we don't even need them in our market. Maybe they are needed in America, they are needed in UK, they are needed in India and China. So we are sometimes, although there is a saying that we have half-baked graduates, but I don't believe all are half-baked. Sometimes we have intelligent ones, but they don't have any place of work that is relevant to what they have read in the university or they research upon. They have to go outside the country or outside the continent. That becomes brain drain. So we have to use global opportunities, you understand, to solve our real problems. And that is exactly what I did. I was trained in China, and I saw the opportunity that these Chinese people could not speak fluent English. Sometimes they were even dragging with the words, to use to complete a sentence. We feed them with the word, then they could complete the sentence. So, okay, and they are experts, among the best in China. So I realized these people are experts in their local languages. That is why they are now colonizing us in terms of technology. So I came back home, I translated everything in my mother tongue, and come and see how Al-Madri is using that opportunity to become a programmer, to become an inventor.
Thank you very much.
Shin kina ko kana da wata baiwa da kake alfahari da ita? Magana muke kan koyon wasu dabaru ko fasahohin da kuke da sha'awar kwarewa akai da zame muku hanya dodar ta tsayawa da kafafunku a zamanance. Samun kwarewa a sana'a na da matukar muhimmanci ga yin wannan sana'ar. Mai son koyon sana'ar tare da al'umma baki daya. Wannan shine dalilin da yasa ENGAUSA Global Tech Hub ta karbi kambin yin fice a horar da matasa sana'o'in dogaro da kai na fasahar zamani daga hukumar sadarwa da tattalin arziki na tarayya wato NITDA, inda take farin cikin sanar muku da fara shirye-shiryenta da suka kunshi muhimman sana'o'in dogaro da kai domin samun kwarewa a fannin skills kamar building installation skill, wanda shiri ne da ya kunshi installation na solar, CCTV installation, computer networking, satellite TV installation, electrical wiring installation da kuma electric passing. Wannan dabaru ne na fasahohin zamani wanda har mutum ya jajirce ya kware ko da ɗaya daga cikin su ne, to zai tsaya da kafarsa cikin ingantacciyar hanya saboda buƙatar masu irin wannan kwarewar kullun karuwa take ba raguwa ba. Dadin dadawa, ENGAUSA Global Tech Hub na bibiyar ɗalibanta ko da ta yaye domin ganin sun tsaya da kafafunsu. Haka zalika akwai fannin ENGAUSA Digital Literacy Skill Up, wanda ya kunshi video editing, graphics design, blogging, website design, digital marketing da kuma photography. Baya ga wannan ana horar da ɗalibai da ake monetizing, wato yadda ɗaliban za su samu kuɗin shiga. Akwai ajin professional gyaran waya inda ake koyar da gyaran waya both hardware da kuma software da kuma basic electronics Haka kuma akwai advanced classes inda ake ƙara ƙwarewa akan hikimomi da dabarun waɗannan sana'o'in da muka zayyano muku a baya. Haka zalika mutum ko da a bangon duniya yake rike da wayar hannu ko laptop zai iya ɗaukan darasi ta hanyar amfani da manhajar ENGAUSA Academy. Da mun rabauta da wannan tsarin kai tsaye, mutum zai iya garzaya manhajar Play Store domin sauƙi application ɗin ENGAUSA Academy. Domin neman ƙarin bayani za ku iya tuntuɓa ma shafukan na sada zumunta ko kuma a lambobin wayar mu kamar haka: 07038224643 ko kuma 07015130683. Burin ENGAUSA Global Tech Hub dai shine al'umma su tsaya da kafafunsu ta hanyar amfani da sana'o'in fasahar zamani.